Hi, my name is Allison Palmer. I'll be teaching the course on non-Western art history, and what we'll do in this class is go through and look at art from a variety of different cultures that are outside of our traditional Western context. We first start off by doing an exercise where we look at a work of art found in our local community, local museum, out in a park. You'd be surprised at how many different places you can find works of art that you normally don't think of. And for that exercise, you'll really be able to focus on how we view art, the color, the composition, the context, all of those kinds of things that we tend to not think about when we're seeing art, but it'll give you a good foundation for how you look at art. After that, then we basically will go through different areas of the world and look at the art in Africa, first of all. And then in Unit 2 of the class, we will look at art in Asia, focusing on India, China, and Japan. And we'll look at architecture, at the religious context of architecture, for example. We will look at painting and sculpture and include the literary context, the historical background for these cultures. And then in Unit 3, we look at Mesoamerican art and art of the Inca. And in this unit, we will focus on pre-Columbian art. You can also focus on Native American art in North America or Canada for this section. So this will be an overview of traditional arts before European contact. In the final unit, we'll finish up with a section on the art of the Pacific Islands. And then at the very end, we will kind of summarize the class with just a section on 20th and 21st century art, where we look at different kinds of issues of identity. Now that most artists are living in a much more international kind of a context, you might have an American artist who is doing work in India, and so they're bringing perhaps their own background to a different cultural context, and so you have a lot of kind of collaborative work, or artists who are, for example, living in a different context from which they may be raised, like you might have an African artist working in New York City. So how does that affect his identity, perhaps? And especially if he's working still in traditional materials and mediums, that of course is going to affect the interpretation of his images as well, as opposed to an artist who's doing much more modern kind of work. And so that'll be the last unit that we'll cover in this class. I hope you all enjoy it, and I look forward to meeting you all.